Howdy, I'm James, and like probably a lot of you out there, I spent a decent part of my life, well, at least my young adult life, working in retail. Yeah. Went to college, got my master's later on, and now I'm a publisher for a poetry publishing company and also involved with autism advocacy and some other good stuff. But those years in retail have stayed with me. And oh god, there were just some customers that I just couldn't believe were real people. And yet we all know the saying, how the customer is always right, right? Wrong! I'd really like to meet who the heck ever came up with that idea. Because there's a few things I'd really like to say to that person. But considering that person's probably long dead, I figured I would do the next best thing. And so, one thing I was doing as a writer when I was working in retail, and I might add, I'm from Long Island, and we had this chain up here that is it was a drive-through convenience store, pretty much. I mean, you want to talk about the laziest of laziest you could possibly get. How lazy do you have to be to not only go to a convenience store but not want to get out of your car when going to a convenience store? You can just take a guess at the type of people that the people who worked there with me and myself were forced to deal with on a constant basis. It was, let's just say, it wasn't the best side of humanity. Let's put it that way. But they, the big bit of revenge that I was able to muster up, that I'm currently in the process of doing, having worked there for about 4 years at that store, was I was always had a notebook with me. Was always writing because, like I said, now I'm a publisher. Back then, I was just really big into the writing scene where I live, and so I kept all those crazy instances that you're like, did that actually just happen? I was recording them the entire time. I was writing them down so that I wouldn't forget of them. Although I don't know how I could have possibly forgotten some of them. And the big thing that I was doing was I was writing them down. And I was putting them into little poems and other little essay writings, little all sorts of things like that. In fact, I'm actually working to put together a book right now called "The Customer is Often Wrong," based on all of these real life experiences. And some of them, looking back on it now, they're funny. But at the time, it was sort of just like, oh my god, why can't I say what's actually on my mind? And sometimes I did anyway, because technically you're supposed to be nice all the time. There were a couple of times I wasn't so nice, and I could admit that now. But back then it was, always like, yes sir, yes ma'am. It doesn't matter if you're being ridiculously rude to me. It doesn't matter if you're coming here looking for a fight, with the mentality that if you whine like a baby, you're going to get anything that you want just because you're you and because I'm behind the counter here. But, I guess that's what comes with, minimum wage. The attitude that you just have to bend over and take it up the butt, whatever they decide to give you. But yeah, so I know that a lot of people who work in those situations, they tend to think, oh God, one day I'm going to write a book about this, and I'm going to get revenge that way. Well, not only did I think that, I'm actually doing that, and that's sort of what this YouTube channel is going to be about here, because as I'm writing them and I'm perfecting them and getting them all written down, I'm going to be sharing the instances with you viewers out there. I figured that there's so many of you who have been in the situations that I'm going to be talking about and dealing with that you could obviously relate to what I'm going to be talking about, and I figured that we could comment, talk back and forth, and maybe come to the collective understanding together of the fact that whoever came up with the idea the customer is always right, it was insane at the the very best. I don't think they had anything to do with what we would call reality. So that's pretty much why I'm here, and figured I would just lay all that out in an introductory video, and that's what you got here. So keep checking back, because I will be starting to post some of the instances. Maybe I'll share the poems that are going to be in the book, or at least some of them, and then I'll give some commentary about the real-life situations that actually inspired them, because it was, well, you know what? You'll see as you see the videos what they were like. So, anyway, that's it for now. So, take care.